so here's the SV3100C after 3 weeks. The tack trap, however, was replaced just 2 weeks ago. Recall that when I put it on, I didn't have a second tack trap, so I left the one on from last year, which is already almost full. So only 2 weeks of the tack trap, but 3 weeks being deployed. I'm gonna take the tack trap off, take the vacuum dish out, and we'll go check the results. Right on. Oh, and it is still running. So 3 weeks, 21 days, and it's still going on the same tank of propane. All right, so here's the SV15. It's the one without the vacuum, but it's got a lot more black flies, just eyeballing it. And we'll give it a count and we'll do a comparison, but it's got a lot more black flies. Now, two things. One, it had an extra week of tack trap, sticky paper time. And two, it is right beside a pond or some sitting water. So that could be it. But I don't know, for $200 less, better results just with a quick look. Let's go compare them. Right on. All right, everybody. So here's the results side by side. You've got the SV15 on top and the SV3100C on the bottom, along with the vacuum trap or dish. As you can see, they're both effective at black flies. The SV15 has at least a third more than the SV3100C tack trap. Now again, as I was saying when I was taking them off, the SV3100C went on May 23rd versus the SV15, which went on May 16th. So I had an extra week. Regardless, it is obvious which one's done better. When we look at the dish, there's hardly anything in there. What, like 20 mosquitoes maybe? Maybe 30? Now, two things. Maybe they didn't do a good enough cleaning that out, and therefore there's a lot of debris and stuff that doesn't allow the vacuum to operate properly. But man, you'd think there'd be way more than that in something that's supposed to trap mosquitoes in the rural setting where I live. So I'm a little blown away. And again, as I've already said, for an extra $200 for this unit, what are you getting? Tack trap that's not as covered and a vacuum that holds 20, 30 mosquitoes? I don't know. Again, maybe it's the location. Maybe there's just not a lot of mosquitoes. I will say at dawn, however, or if I'm out at night, there's mosquitoes all over the place. And actually, every time I go to the trap to take the paper off or to check what's happening, there's mosquitoes buzzing all about. But it's just not trapping them on the tack trap or in the vacuum. So there you go. I'm going to keep putting this out and check back again midsummer with the results. I'm going to clean this trap a little bit better, make sure that the air from the vacuum can pull through it and keep them down in it. Maybe that's the problem. But maybe they're just not going in there. I don't know. I will also mention that they are both still running. So the propane tanks aren't empty yet. So that's 3 weeks for both of them running. And I'm pretty sure the SV3100C is gonna go out before the SV15. Remember, the SV15 is half the amount of CO2 output as the SV3100C. So I'm amazed that the SV3100C has lasted the 3 weeks. I thought it would be done by now, but maybe it'll get the whole month. I'll report back on that as well. But so far, they should, in my experience at my property, they should change this from Skeeter Vac to Blackfly Vac or Blackfly Trap, because the Vac's not working and it's really only catching black flies. Now I tallied it up. I did some math here. Again, qualitatively you can tell the top one, the SV15, is the better or more effective tack trap than the one below, which is the SV3100C. Again, just counting one triangle on each, I counted 300 black flies on one triangle. When you times that over 16, you get 4,800 black flies. For the SV3100C, you can see there's some triangles that don't have some. There's some triangles that are similar to the SV15, not quite as much. So I went 200 per triangle for an average, and that gets you 3,200 black flies. So a third better on the SV15. 4,800 black flies, 3,200 black flies. Either way, that's a lot of black flies that aren't trying to bite me, which is great. Mosquito-wise, on the SV3100C, there's only 21 mosquitoes on that tack trap, and there's only another 20, 30 mosquitoes in the trap. So let's say 50. Let's give it 50 mosquitoes. On the SV15 tack trap, on the lower half of it, there's mosquitoes across the board. And I counted 325 mosquitoes. So doing a pretty good job with the mosquitoes too. Definitely not even close to the black flies, but still 325 mosquitoes versus 50 mosquitoes, tack trap and vacuum. I don't know. As I said earlier, for $200 extra, I think the winner here is the SV15, if any of them at all. So with saying that, I have another idea. All right, so here you go. Here's my other idea. As I said earlier, the mosquitoes are definitely attracted to both units, the one with the vacuum and the one without. Whenever I go near them, there are mosquitoes buzzing about. For whatever reason, they're not getting caught or killed. And so I have another product that comes from Costco. It's called Dynatrap. What I'm going to do, it runs on AC power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it up and put it above the Skeeter Vac 3100C and see if I can catch a whole bunch of mosquitoes in it. And if I can, then obviously it's attracting. It's just not good at killing them or trapping them. And maybe the Dynatrap will do that for me. So it's got a neon light. It's got a vacuum as well. And maybe it's a bit stronger vacuum than the propane vacuum. So I'm going to try that. I'll do a separate video on that. I'm going to set that up and got to rig out some power and get it above the unit. But I'm going to try that out. Then I'll also try it just like at my deck or above my fire pit and see how it does there. Because like I said, if I go at dawn or if I go at night, there are always mosquitoes wherever I am, on my deck or over at the fire pit. So that's what I'm going to try. So stick around for that. I'll report back on how long the propane tanks lasted. I'll put new tack traps out on both units, and I'll have some updated results on that. And I'll clean out this vacuum and hopefully try to get that so maybe it works better. So stick around for that. Thank you for coming back. I did have a great comment from someone in my area, which I really appreciate. And I'd love to hear people's experience. If you've used this product, what your experience is. Because when I was doing my research before I bought it, I checked a couple videos and they were really successful. Like the vacuum dishes were full of mosquitoes, like absolutely full of mosquitoes. So it's got to work. And maybe it's the location, maybe it's set up, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I'd love to hear back from anybody that's had actually success with trapping mosquitoes and taking out the mosquito population. I just seem to not have great success. And the comment I received, which was great, they are in a similar position. They weren't able to trap many mosquitoes either. And again, at $5.99.99 Canadian, man, it's not really doing the job. Plus the operating costs of the tack traps and the lure and the propane. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a winner yet or not. I'll keep playing around. I'll report back. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. I hope you're finding a way to get outside because that's what it's truly about. Until next time. Bye now.